a little different than changing ends the other night.
Man, is there energy in the building in Charlotte. Dan Shulman and Jay Billis on the call. Dan, take it away.
You can say that again, Reese. Welcome back to ESPN's Champ Week, presented by Principal and the 2019 New York Life ACC Tournament. No matter what's at stake, it's always a big game when Duke and Carolina meet. And this one feels a little bit extra special, even by the standards of this great rivalry, with a trip to the ACC championship game on the line.
Duke, UNC, in the last 100 matchups, they're 50-50 with only 9 points separating them. Now enter Zion.
And here he goes.
My goodness.
Got magic in that left hand. Over the top again.
Oh, who is going to stop this?
I come ready to kill every game.
The original rivalry remains the best rivalry.
What a sensational return it was from the injury last night for Duke. Zion Williamson didn't miss a shot from the field. 29 points, 14 rebounds to lead the Blue Devils into this game, and really his first chance now to play North Carolina, because it was in the Carolina game of the first minute of that game that he went out with the injury that shook the college basketball world. Dan Shulman, Jay Billis. Anybody excited for this one? I know we are. I know this whole building is. What does it mean for Duke to have Zion Williamson back against the Tar Heels?
Well, it means everything. They lost the first 2 games to North Carolina. Not to say that North Carolina wouldn't have won without Zion Williamson in the lineup, but when you have Williamson in the lineup, I mean, look what he did in his first game back against Syracuse. 29 points. He went 13 of 13 from the field. Now all his field goals, save one, were within 4.5 feet of the basket, but he got offensive rebounds. He had 5 steals, 14 rebounds, with 7 of them offensive. It's just a fantastic performance by Zion Williamson, and he's certainly the X factor in this game. Who do they guard him with? Is it going to be Luke May, Garrison Brooks? Are they going to put Cam Johnson on? Like, there are all these different options you have, because he is a unicorn out there. You've not seen anything like him, and he's the one guy. He hasn't played in this rivalry yet, so nobody's seen him, but he hasn't seen North Carolina yet either.
Carolina finished ACC play 16-2. They have been on a remarkable run for the last couple of weeks. They're going to score, they're going to run, they're going to rebound, but is it a defensive performer who's their secret weapon?
Well, Kenny Williams, I think, has done a fabulous job all year long defensively, and I would imagine he's going to draw R.J. Barrett as his assignment. Kenny Williams has done such a great job on defense. He can help, and then he recovers out to Jordan Nwora, takes away the shot, and he's there. Took 4 charges in the game against Duke in addition to 18 points, and really took Nwora out of the ballgame. Look how he recovers to someone who's not his man. Just rotates over, takes the shot away from Dwayne Sutton, and ultimately comes up with the turnover. He really made it difficult for Jordan Nwora to even make a catch in a scoring area. He gets the turnover, winds up getting a bucket on the other end because of it. He did not make the ACC's all-defensive team. He should have. Kenny Williams is a difference maker on the defensive end if he doesn't score a single point.
And with more thoughts on Williams, here's our Williams, Allison.
Hey there, Dan. Not only is Kenny Williams a great defender, but he is a huge competitor, and it's that competitive nature that led him to answer absolutely when I asked if he hoped Zion Williamson would play if they got a rematch with Duke. He said it's not about quieting the noise from people who want to diminish the first 2 Carolina wins because Duke was without Zion. He said Zion is a great athlete. He deserves all the hype, but the competitor in me hopes he plays, because if I'm playing Duke, I want him full strength, and that's exactly what we're getting here in round 3 between Carolina and Duke.
Kind of feels like everybody's getting what they want here tonight. In the last 100 meetings between the two, well, you knew this before we put it up. Duke's 150, Carolina's 150. Duke outscoring the Tar Heels by a total of 9 points. How about let's look at these 2 programs and what they've done in the ACC tournament. Well, of course, they've got the same number of wins each, with 101, so that'll be broken tonight. Obviously, Duke's won a couple more championships. Carolina's been to the final a few more times. Carolina is trying to beat Duke for the 3rd time this season, something the Tar Heels have not done since 1975-76. Hall of Famer Roy Williams in his 16th season as the head coach at North Carolina. In 13 of those 16 years, he's at least gotten to the ACC semis. He's won it 3 times. Mike Krzyzewski has won the ACC tournament as Duke's head coach 14 times. And let's just sit back and enjoy this great atmosphere here in Charlotte. Carolina and Duke meeting for the 3rd time. The winner to take on Florida State in the championship game tomorrow night. Roger Ayers, Jamie Luckey, Clarence Armstrong are the officials. Carolina in white, Duke in blue, Brooks and Williamson, and away we go. A look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Geico. For Duke, it's the 4 freshmen and Javin DeLaurier, the other starter tonight for the Blue Devils.
Harrison Brooks drawing Zion Williamson with the initial defensive assignment.
Reddish misses the jumper, and Williamson misses the follow. Javin DeLaurier there, though, to put it home.
Williamson, an excellent offensive rebounder. Not just because of his athleticism, does a good job of reading the situation and where the ball is going to come off. He positions himself very well.
Quick missed 3 by Kobe White, out of bounds off Luke May, and back to Duke.
It'll be interesting to see back-to-back games for Williamson. And this a totally different game than the game he played against Syracuse, where it is going to be an up and down game.
Looking okay right there, and Duke off to a good start.
Just a little screen roll on the left side, passing out of it, and immediately throwing to Williamson over the top.
And Carolina nearly turning it over. Luke May gets open for a 3. Around and out, and DeLaurier down with a rebound. Trey Jones coming off a 15.8 assist performance in the quarterfinal last night against Syracuse. Williamson with a line drive 3. Ball is loose, picked up by Cam Johnson, and he'll launch it.
Wow.
And hit it.
What a player he is. No hesitation at all.
How about this, Jay? 47% from beyond the arc on the season. 54% in games not in Chapel Hill, away from home.
That averages 21 a game away from home. So Duke trying to spread out North Carolina with these side ball screens, pass out of it, and then roll hard to the basket.
Jones the drive and the kick. Williamson passed up the 3, shot clocked at 1. Forced by Jones. Williams the rebound.
Surprised Williamson didn't drive that.
Johnson again. Carolina leads.
Well, he is locked in, and what a quick trigger for Cam Johnson. He is a big-time player.
First team all ACC. Kobe White in transition for the Heels. Pull-up jumper. Tipped by May, no good. And Brooks called for going over the back.
Cam Johnson in transition. First off the steal when the ball was rolling down court. Knocks the ball away, steals it from DeLaurier, and just picks this thing up and drills it.
That's great.
And the second time down, the pass from Kenny Williams. Just one dribble, goes straight up. He's got just beautiful form. And he gets it off so quickly. He's been about as efficient as any wing, not just in the ACC, but in the country. How about that defense by Williams to stay in front of Barrett?
6 days ago in the game in Chapel Hill, Barrett scored 27 points, but Williams really made him work and drew 3 charges on R.J. Barrett. And Roy Williams told us they look at the opposing team and they size up who the best offensive players are, and they just say, Kenny, you got that guy. Whether he's a 1, a 2, or 3 doesn't really matter. DeLaurier runs it down, but he's out of bounds.
Difficult against North Carolina not to go too fast. North Carolina plays at a tempo that most teams don't ever play at. Now Duke plays a fast tempo. Not sure it's as fast as Carolina.
Bounce pass from Johnson to May, but DeLaurier cuts him off. Johnson again. What a start for Cam Johnson.
Boy, off a broken play. I mean, that was a good 29 feet away, and there was zero hesitation.
Cam Johnson 8, Duke 4. Baseline Williamson, good help by White, out of bounds, back to the Tar Heels.
Boy, that was excellent help by Kobe White. Williamson had the angle on Garrison Brooks, and then Kobe White came over. See how he got his feet outside the lane? That was really well done by the freshman defensively, and he's come a long way defensively. In fact, Roy Williams is always telling Kobe White he's not going to list him at 6'5" till he wins the Defensive Player of the Game award 3 times. Wide open again.
And Williamson down with the rebound. First sub of the night, Jack White in for Duke. Jamin Delorier to the bench.
And North Carolina really just not even going out to they don't even have their heels on the 3-point line. They're playing inside the 3 and packing it in.
Duke barely a 30% 3-point shooting team on the season. Floater no, follow yes for R.J. Barrett.
The offensive glass is going to be a big factor in this game. The glass on both ends.
Williams with a nice look. And look at Williamson just above everybody for the rebound.
And what an outlet pass. He is such a good passer.
Williamson gets inside, left it short.
Williams got there. Kenny Williams got there to take a charge, and that totally disrupted Zion Williamson from getting to the bucket. That was a great defensive play by Kenny Williams.
Great start, lots of pace, lots of energy. Carolina with an early 2-point lead.
It's just a surreal feeling of going against your arch rival and playing this great university. It just gives a little tingling down my spine and gives me a little bit of goosebumps.
Time now for tonight's Need to Know, brought to you by Principal. This is the 13th top 5 matchup when both teams have been ranked in the top 5, nearly double any other rivalry. And this is the one you would expect to be at the top of the list. Notre Dame and UCLA second with 7. And it's the 3rd time this year that Duke and Carolina have met, with each of them ranked in the top 5.
That's interesting. I didn't know that Notre Dame had beaten UCLA when they were top 5. I've never heard any stories about those games from former Notre Dame coaches.
Which one of us do you think he's going to call in the next 30 seconds? A couple of free throws for Kobe White to make it a 4-point lead for Carolina. Now R.J. Barrett will head to the line for Duke.
Well, how about this, Dan? Just over 4 minutes played. There's already been 20 shot attempts in this game.
What a pace. I mean, some players say, and listen, you played in this rivalry, you know, some players will say they're exhausted after warm-ups just because the heart gets going, the adrenaline, and so forth. You combine the stakes and the adrenaline and the pace, and it really will be a test of everybody's stamina tonight. Delorier back in for Duke, and Barrett 1 of 2.
It's Cam versus Cam. Cam Reddish guarding Cam Johnson. Johnson already has those 2 threes, both of them in transition.
Williamson on Luke May, who had a monster game in the win at Cameron back in February. Luke May had 30 points and 15 rebounds in the first game. Was held in check much more from a scoring perspective in the second game, but still rebounded the ball and dished out a number of assists. His rebounding numbers have been extraordinary lately.
Yeah, last 6 games, he's averaging about 14 rebounds a game. He really didn't rebound as well against Louisville, only had 9.
Williams, and it drops to extend the lead to 5.
Boy, how good was Kenny Williams in the last game against Duke with those 18 points? And you had mentioned how great he was defensively, drawing 3 charges on R.J. Barrett, 4 overall.
Reddish baseline, and I think we got an offensive foul, or was he just out of bounds?
Offensive foul.
Yep.
You know, Cam Reddish has been turning the ball over at a high rate of late. Really nothing there, and a terrific job by Garrison Brooks to get over again outside the lane. And we've talked about the great defense of Kenny Williams. He's the best perimeter defender on this team. The best interior defender is Garrison Brooks.
Reddish to the bench. Alex O'Connell into the game for the first time. Probably the best outside shooter that Duke has. But a guy really who's got to make shots to get significant minutes, you would think.
He's got to play good defense also.
May in some trouble, gets out of it and finds Brooks, still 10 to shoot.
They're going to be difficult for May to drive by Williamson without some action first.
Look at White split the double team, switch hands and lay it in.
Are you kidding me? What a move by Kobe White. Are you kidding? Zion Williamson just went down, took him a second to get up. Looks like he's okay. Garrison Brooks still guarding Williamson.
He's okay.
I mean, he just put a hand up and went over the top. He is limping a little bit.
May can't get the shot off under the basket. Floater by Johnson, and he's fouled.
After Kobe White was able to snake through those defenders on a spectacular drive, Zion Williamson hit the deck. He went up to try to block. He just caught his leg there and went down and was face down for a second. Looked like he got hit by Delorier.
Left foot hit first, braced his fall with the left hand. Remember, it was the right knee that he sprained 3 weeks ago. And Williamson heading to the bench. White back in. Nasir Little checks in for the first time for Carolina.
That moves Luke May to the 5. And really, Cam Johnson will be playing the 4 now, and Little, they like to put at the 3 spot.
Remember, no Marquise Bolden for Duke. He sprained his knee last week in the Carolina game, and he has been ruled out for the entirety of this tournament. Jack White, corner 3. And Delorier comes up with it after a bit of a bounce off the rim.
Yeah, it took a second bounce. Luke May was right there, but that second bounce on the rim caused him to mistime it.
Great rebound by Delorier.
Right, Javin Delorier has done a nice job on the glass of late, been blocking shots. Not a scorer, but an excellent defender.
Over the top to Johnson.
What a catch.
And what a pass. And what a shot fake. And May will lay it in. Boy, beautiful offensive basketball there by Carolina.
One of the best passing teams in the country. Second in the nation in assists, only to Belmont, averaging 19 assists per game.
Barrett with a mid-range jumper. Duke back within 5.
A nice curl by Barrett, and didn't force it.
Leading scorer in the ACC at better than 23 points per game. Pass is deflected. Duke ball. And Jones will settle him down. Now Johnson on him right now. Barrett baseline on Williams.
What a pass.
No look pass inside, but Delorier missed it.
We got to finish that.
Tough catch. Tougher finish for Cam Johnson.
How quickly did North Carolina turn that into a bucket?
It is amazing. Year after year, as the personnel changes, the pace never wanes for Carolina.
You can't run back against them. You got to sprint back.
Out of bounds off White.
Watch how fast North Carolina turns this conversion into a bucket. Rebound, 2 dribbles, and laying it in. That is just beautiful. Talk about a transition bucket, fast break bucket. Boy, and that's just great concentration by Cam Johnson to make that catch and get it up off the glass and in.
Williamson back in for Duke. Johnson again. What a start for him. He's got 14.
H-O-T hot.
He is outscoring Duke all by himself right now.
No wonder Pittsburgh didn't want to let him transfer.
Barrett posting, forced it up off the rim. Jordan Goldwire into the game for Duke with a rebound. Reddish with a drive and a reverse. How about the English on that?
Boy, beautiful finish by Reddish. Boy, with no time to enjoy it. You got to get, what a pass.
And the extra pass taken away. Jones trying to run it down, and he lays it in just beyond the outstretched fingertips of Kobe White.
And even as the ball's going through the net, North Carolina is getting it out to try to get it up court as quickly as possible. This pace is breakneck.
Little. And a goaltending call on Zion Williamson.
Boy, the passing for North Carolina has been spectacular. Just spectacular. Cam Johnson is having an incredible game. 14 points, 2 of 3 from 3, 5 of 6 overall. And they have been passing the ball well, as has Duke. The beautiful pass from Barrett to Jones. What a game. It always delivers.
ACC tournament with the winner to take on Florida State in the championship game tomorrow night. What a win for the Seminoles, beating Virginia by 10 in the first semi tonight. Nice duck through there by Reddish, but he missed it.
North Carolina really on pace to score 50 in this first half. And one thing that Duke has done a terrific job of is the offensive glass. 8 second chance points for Duke in this game. They've had 16 points in the paint, where if you're calling the first game, it was Carolina that dominated the paint.
Little with the offensive rebound over the smaller Jones. Carolina, the 3rd highest scoring team of the country at better than 86 points per game, and they got 3 more. Brandon Robinson, who made a couple of threes in the win over Louisville last night, knocks one down early tonight, and there's an offensive foul on Cam Reddish.
He just lowered that shoulder. If he didn't lower the shoulder, I'm not sure Robinson quite would have been there to get the charge. But it's the lowering of the shoulder, I think, that got it. That's the 2nd foul now on Cam Reddish. Both of them charges. And a terrific job by Brandon Robinson to maintain that guarding position. And Robinson is playing so well. He's over a 40% three-point shooter, and coming off a game in which he made 2 threes against Louisville, 2 of 2. Had 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Played very well.
May. Barrett might have gotten a piece of it. Williamson leading him up the court, trying to go all the way, and it rolls around and off the rim, and back comes Carolina. Williams, little shovel pass to May. Carolina by a dozen.
Terrific shot fake by Kenny Williams, but really it's the push up the floor. After Duke didn't get the score, Carolina's just relentless in pushing the ball up. And you wonder if that's going to take a little bit of a toll on Williamson, and whether his stamina is going to be there in his 2nd game back. Carolina's going to test that and then some.
May called for the foul.
Carolina pushing the ball up in transition. Kobe White bringing it up, and in the corner you see Kenny Williams. He's asking for some space from Robinson. The shot fake, poor closeout by Zion Williamson, and Williams able to pass it to his teammate Luke May underneath for the bucket. It's just a great play by Kenny Williams, completely under control and showing North Carolina's outstanding passing.
Let's send it over to Allison Williams.
Well, Dan, Jay mentioned the stamina for Zion Williamson, but I think the stamina is being tested for both teams early with the pace of this game. I watched some guys during the last time out when they were breathing really heavy. You could see what a sweat they had already worked out, not even halfway through the first half. Guys toweling off, taking a lot of fluids. So stamina will be tested throughout the course of this game, it looks like.
And the difference is, Allison, that North Carolina's got more subs. I mean, they play more people, and they're used to this pace a little bit more.
A turnover gives it back to Duke. Williamson has gone to the bench. Reddish is on the bench with 2 fouls. So a bit of an unusual lineup right now for Duke. It's Jones, Goldwire, Barrett, White, and Delorier. And in this kind of a situation, this is when we've seen at times R.J. Barrett. I mean, he is option number 1, to say the least, with this group.
Another offensive foul.
This time it's Trey Jones.
They just keep lowering the shoulder, and you know, Trey Jones has to shoot that ball. He was wide open, and they're playing off of him. So when he catches it, he's got to set his feet and shoot it. You're not going to get more open than that. He's just driving into a set defense and lowered his shoulder.
And again, by Duke standards, this is not a deep offensive lineup with Williamson and Reddish on the bench. Kenny Williams misses the 3, but we've got a foul over the back committed by Brandon Robinson.
You know, one of the things, in addition to what Allison Williams was talking about stamina, one of the things that's a result of this many possessions in a game, and it's intentional on the part of North Carolina, more possessions, more fouls. And if you don't play as many people and you get in some foul trouble, all of a sudden you're going to have to take somebody out. And North Carolina's used to playing 10 guys, and they shuffle them in and out. And so they're going to be fresher longer, theoretically.
Duke fans really wanted the opportunity to see their team with Zion Williamson to play Carolina. And you know what? Carolina fans wanted the opportunity to see if their team can beat Duke with Zion Williamson. So they would stop hearing, well, yeah, but Zion Williamson didn't play in the first 2 games. So everybody getting what they wanted here tonight with this one. Step back 3 by Barrett, well short. And it's out of bounds back to the Tar Heels.
Yeah, just a bad shot and great defense again by Kenny Williams. Boy, the more you watch Kenny Williams play, the more you have to ask, how is it that so many voters could vote for someone else for the all-defensive team in the ACC? Not that all of them weren't worthy that made the team, but you can't tell me that there are 5 better defenders in this league than Kenny Williams. They're not.
Now he drives and kicks. Brooks dumps it down. Baseline jumper. Johnson, no. And it bounces to Jones.
Good pass ahead.
And Williams gets back to slow down Barrett. Jones left hand. It'll go. 7th Woods into the point right now for Carolina. Another one of those valuable performers off the bench. Williams over the top. Brooks, nice look. Woods wide open. Air ball.
R.J. Barrett stepped out of bounds.
And we have a timeout on the floor. Did he step out of bounds? And ball's inbounds. He is out of bounds and then touches the ball before it bounces. It should belong to Carolina when we come back. But first, let's send it to Kevin Connors.
Yeah, Dan, Cinderella.
Back in Charlotte with Allison Williams, Jay Billis. I'm Dan Schulman. It's Duke and Carolina. Cam Johnson has 14 points already. And Carolina's got a 9-point lead on Duke. Make it 11. Easy score off the inbounds.
Just taking advantage of the switch. Duke was switching that. Roy Williams anticipated that. Kenny Williams just came off and set a screen, came off, and then was wide open under the basket and took advantage of Duke switching.
Jones will miss the 3.
Another offensive rebound for Duke.
Delorier's been doing great work on the offensive glass, but now he's called for the foul.
That's the 6th team foul for Duke, I believe.
And number 2 on Delorier. Remember, Reddish has 2 as well.
Delorier got the offensive rebound, but both May and Brooks made it really difficult for him to go back up. Brooks gets the rebound, and then Delorier tries to take it away from him from behind. That was a clear foul.
Delorier stays. White has gone to the bench. Great matchup at the point. A terrific defender in Trey Jones and one of the best offensive point guards in the nation in Kobe White.
Goldwire guarding Cam Johnson did a great job when he came into the game guarding Buddy Boeheim.
Nice.
Great play.
Wow. White to Brooks.
Boy, they are just spreading Duke out and taking advantage of this young Blue Devil defense. Brooks with the screen, and then the hard roll to the basket was wide open.
And as you mentioned, Carolina, one of the best passing teams in the nation.
Look how Carolina's packing it in. They're not even going out past the three-point line. Their toes aren't beyond the 3.
Even though Zion Williamson just hit a 3, if you're Roy Williams, you live with that.
Heck yeah. As long as he's not getting to the basket.
First 3-pointer of the night for the Blue Devils, and Kobe White heading back to the free throw line.
Now watch Kobe White on this last play, as he couldn't speed him up at all. The ball screen, 2 defenders go with it. The replace guy up, that took Zion Williamson up the lane, and then Garrison Brooks wide open. When Garrison Brooks rolls to the basket, Luke May, they call it replacing up. So from the baseline, he will go up to the line of the ball. And Zion Williamson either goes with him or he picks up Brooks on the roll. So they've either got a layup or an open 3. Really well executed.
And the foul on Delorier is his 3rd. You see Antonio Vrankovic is into the game now for Duke. Does not play very often at all. But remember, Marquise Bolden is out with a knee injury. Won't play at all this week. Delorier in foul trouble as Williamson gets a lay-in. So Mike Krzyzewski's got a big guy in the game he doesn't use very often.
They put Vrankovic up above the free throw line, and that freed up Zion Williamson underneath.
May with an air ball and a baseline jumper. It belongs to Duke.
I think Carolina's got to continue to pack it in and make Duke prove it over the top. Kenny Williams still on R.J. Barrett. That's really one of the key matchups, if not the key matchup. And Garrison Brooks has done a nice job on Williamson.
Williamson spinning inside. That looks more like the Zion Williamson we saw time after time last night against Syracuse.
Trying to get him into the post where he can work one-on-one against Garrison Brooks. And it looked like Cam Johnson was trying to come over again. The idea to come over and double, but thought better of it. And he just turned right past Brooks, and a little hesitation on the part of Luke May to come over as well. That tennis ball just went in the ocean.
That was the comment made by Williamson after the game last night. He said, I couldn't throw a tennis ball in the ocean, referring to his 2-for-9 performance from the line. Makes them both. Duke back within 7. A lot of ball screen action for Carolina. Deep one, Kenny Williams. Barrett the rebound.
What a rebound by Barrett. Such a good defensive rebounder.
Pulls up for a 3.
I think Carolina's got to put Brankovic in some ball screen situations.
Good D by Jones on Johnson, giving up about 8 inches in height in that matchup. Knocked away by Goldwire. It stays with Carolina, 9 on the shot clock. Jordan Goldwire, an important player for Duke in last night's win.
Yeah, he did a great job defensively on Buddy Boeheim when he came into the game, and he was a vital piece in that incredible comeback that Duke had at Louisville, where they were down, what, 21, and came back and won in the second half.
May over Williamson. What a move.
And what an answer when Duke had cut it to 4 for Luke May to stretch it back out to 2 possessions at 6.
Goldwire over the top. Brankovic back to Goldwire, and it goes. How about that?
Boy, what a cut by Goldwire.
2 guys who don't play a whole lot combining for a big bucket.
Well, he didn't just stand.
May feeling it, left it short.
Now Duke getting out in transition.
Williamson was racing down the floor, calling for a lob, but didn't have enough separation. Barrett, no. And Brooks the rebound for the Tar Heels.
Well, even though Kenny Williams didn't draw the charge, he made it extraordinarily difficult for R.J. Barrett to get a clean look. Well, he is playing such great defense. Goldwire taking on Cam Johnson. It's been a while since Johnson's gotten an open look.
Yeah, he's been on 14 for quite a while. May from the baseline, soft touch.
This little pick and pop along the baseline with Kobe White and Luke May. And May moves his feet so well. You know, in the last game that Carolina played against Louisville, Luke May ran 2.5 miles in that game.
Jones gets a bounce, and Duke back within 4.
How much fun is this?
Look at Kobe White doing it again. How do you stop him?
And he got fouled, no call. But boy, he is able to split 2 defenders with such ease. He is a big-time player.
How far has he taken his game up over the course of his freshman season?
I mean, it's really been great to see him mature. He's changing speed so well. His early speed was 100 miles an hour, and he could go 100.
Brankovic with a bucket.
Antonio Brankovic with some really good minutes with Duke in a little bit of foul trouble. The ball underneath and a great cut by Goldwire, gets to the basket, the nice little shovel pass, and then Kobe White just snaking through defenders, gets hit, knocked to the ground, and watches it go through the net. What a game. What a game.
ESPN.
Welcome back to Charlotte. Welcome back to Champ Week. ACC Tournament Semifinal number 2. Duke and Carolina in their third meeting. Carolina winning the first 2. Kobe White is at the line. Misses the front end, and down with the rebound is Zion Williamson, who so far tonight has 11 points, 4 rebounds in 14 minutes. Big minutes for Jordan Goldwire for Duke. Playing some good defense and helping out on a couple of offensive possessions as well.
Zion Williamson being guarded by Nasir Little. I think he's got to go into the post. He's had some success in there.
Goldwire trying to drive on Johnson. Kick to Jones in the corner. Got it.
Well, you saw Trey Jones hesitate early on and get an offensive foul because he wouldn't pull the trigger. Now he's not hesitating at all. And clearly the Duke coaching staff telling him, when you're open, you have got to shoot the ball.
Goldwire reaches in the cylinder is the call. Got too far into the grill of Cam Johnson, and he's called for the foul.
Yeah, Cam Johnson will go to the free throw line, but the baseline drive, refusing the ball screen by Vrankovic and finding Trey Jones in the corner, and Jones ready to shoot it without hesitation. Not a great three-point shooter. Came into this game having only hit 17 on the season.
Coming up in the Audi halftime report, we'll send you to Reese Davis, Seth Greenberg, and Jay Williams as they look at Florida's huge win today over LSU, in all likelihood of getting them off the bubble, and Florida State advancing to the championship game here in Charlotte with a 10-point win over the #1 seed, Virginia.
Got to think Duke's looking to get the ball into Williamson. He's open on the side. There it is.
Over the top to him. Vrankovic with the feed, and again it's a 1-point game.
Williamson sets the ball screen. They pass out of it, and he just rolls right to the basket. There's no one there to pick him up, and Vrankovic just lobs it to him. You know who does a lot of that is Kansas.
Nasir Little for 3. And the rebound down to Kenny Williams, who is fouled.
Now watch Williamson here in setting this screen. Basically slips it. And then the pass, there's no pressure on Vrankovic, so he can make that pass, just throw it up to the rim. And you know what? He can throw it as high as he wants to.
Williams hits the first. Carolina's led by as many as 13 in this game. It's a 2-point lead right now.
Well, with Duke in a little bit of foul trouble with Delorier and Reddish on the bench, Vrankovic and Goldwire have come in and really given some positive minutes.
And guys deep in the rotation, although again Goldwire is becoming a bigger and bigger part of things over the last several weeks.
And the same play better defended by North Carolina.
What a bounce. Zion Williamson ties it up.
Well, he's only got 16, huh? It's almost like it's a mistake if he doesn't touch it every time down the floor.
The arrow will keep it at this end of the floor for Carolina.
Bill Rafter, you say, Nick Ball, we led the nation in that. Yeah, Zion, well, if he knocks threes down like this, what are you going to do? I mean, you have to try to take something away. Williamson with 16 points. And really hasn't touched the ball all that much, honestly.
Fresh 30 for Carolina, about a 2.5-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Barrett on Kobe White.
Let's see if he gets a ball screen. Here comes Luke May.
Vrankovic retreats. 5 to shoot. Pull up 3. Not there. Williamson the rebound. They got some time. Barrett for 3. And of course we go to halftime tied. Williamson and Johnson each with 16. Duke and Carolina tied at the half here in Charlotte. Time now for the halftime report. Let's hear the thoughts of Reese Davis, Seth Greenberg, and Jay Williams on this great game. To ESPN's Champ Week, presented by Principal, and the 2019 New York Life ACC Tournament. The beginning of the game was all Cam Johnson. He had 14 points in the first few minutes. At one point was outscoring Duke all by himself. But then Duke got back into it. Zion Williamson with a big first half. 16 points and 6 rebounds. The winner of this game advances to the championship game tomorrow night to take on the number 4 seed, the Florida State Seminoles, who took care of Virginia earlier tonight. Tied at 44 going to the second half between these two iconic programs. Dan Shulman and Jay Billis back with you here in Charlotte. Wow, you have fun?
What a track meet that was the first half. My neck hurts.
What'd you think, and what adjustments do teams have to make?
Well, early on in the game, it was all about Cam Johnson. He had a terrific first half. Started out with 14 points, wound up with 16 for the half, although he slowed down in the second part of the first half. But I thought North Carolina sort of stopped attacking the paint and getting the ball to the basket. Duke outscored him in the paint largely because Zion Williamson took over in the latter part of the first half. He had 16 points, went 6 of 10 from the field, but really paint points has been the difference for Duke to get back to a tie ball game.
Moments ago, Allison Williams with Roy Williams.
Coach Williams, you led by as much as 13. How did Duke tie this up?
We got really impatient on the offensive end. Cam made some threes early. B-Rob made one, but everybody else is shooting. We're 3 of 14, not very patient on offense.
What is the key for you guys in the second half?
To compete a heck of a lot better than we did that time, Allison.
Thanks, Roy.
And how about this to start the second half? Both Jordan Goldwire and Antonio Vrankovic, who both played well in the first half, are both starting. Delorier's on the bench with 3 fouls. Duke hasn't gotten much of anything out of Reddish, O'Connell, or White tonight. And could you ever have imagined, Jay, that we'd be saying things like Vrankovic to Goldwire for a bucket and that they would be starting the second half of this game?
No, and Goldwire in for his defense. He's low error rate. You know, Cam Reddish had turned the ball over, picked up a couple of charges. But very steady performance in that first half from Jordan Goldwire, and really good minutes from Antonio Vrankovic when Delorier got in foul trouble.
And there you can see Reddish on the bench. Delorier, who did have some very good moments, but he starts the second half on the bench, perhaps because of 3 fouls. And now we've got the officials over. Was this to see who the foul was on? And that's what it was. It was Brooks. Let's get a report from Allison.
Duke associate head coach John Shire mentioned the energy that Goldwire and Vrankovic brought this team, and that was key because he said early on in the game guys were laboring a little bit. They were able to catch their wind as the game went on, but a big part of it was because of those 2 guys coming in off the bench. But really the big thing that got Duke back in this game was their defense. They started to compete on that end. They stayed home in shooters, and they did a better job staying on Cam Johnson.
And speaking of energy, Allison should give herself a pat on the back. Allison is expecting, and she's been racing around doing interviews, going from huddle to huddle, back and forth. Good job, Allison.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's been fun to have a little bump here with the basketball.
Barrett misses a 3. Duke by 2. Remember, Carolina led by as many as 13 in the first half.
Barrett guarding Cam Johnson. Just got a switch now. Goldwire back on him.
White for 3, not there. And Brooks beats Vrankovic to the rebound.
And that was a contested 3 by White, guarded by Jones.
White takes a bump, kicks it out. Touch pass Williams to May. And Barrett down with another rebound.
And Zion Williamson still got some pressure on that shot by Luke May. You know, one thing having Goldwire in the ball game, the ball does not stick in his hands. He makes good decisions with the basketball. Now see Luke May getting out to guard Antonio Vrankovic up top, so he can't just throw that lob into Zion Williamson.
Good hustle by Williamson to get back, and Brooks may be shaken up.
Zion Williamson does such, it's not just his athleticism. I mean, obviously that's really impressive, but he does such a good job of anticipating. He thinks about where the ball is going to be rather than where it is. It's one of the reasons he gets so many steals and deflections. And you tend to ooh and ah at his athleticism, but he really does know how to play.
Looked like Brooks might have rolled his left ankle a little bit, but he stays in the game. Delorier's back in for Vrankovic for Duke.
Right now, North Carolina driving into trouble because they're driving into a set defense. They've not moved the defense before they attack. Now it's been more of a half-court game. A good help by Kenny Williams to recover.
Barrett gets to his left hand and knocks it in. When he can get back to his left hand in the paint, almost unstoppable.
And he really showed good patience there. Didn't go too fast.
Putting up some good numbers. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 12 points now. 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and hasn't turned it over. Great rebound.
Got Delorier again.
Number 4 on Javin Delorier.
Boy, what a big play, all because of the offensive rebound. Kicked out to White, and he drove right into the hip of Javin Delorier to pick up that 4th foul. That is a huge play. That's after the offensive rebound by Garrison Brooks.
Jones runs it down.
Oh, Jones just mishandled it. Otherwise, Goldwire had a bucket.
Yeah, a little hot potato, though, winds up in Duke still maintaining possession. Jones, yes. And the lead grows for the Blue Devils.
North Carolina has yet to score in this second half.
Well, good ball pressure, huh?
Yeah, Goldwire's doing a really good job of not letting Cam Johnson get an opening. He's just not helping off him, staying with him.
And Johnson not really a guy to go down to the post and take advantage of that height that he's got.
Oh, wow. Another split of 2 defenders. And he went right at Williamson. Kind of took that space up so Williamson didn't have the space to block the shot. That took some guts, didn't it?
Big bucket for Kobe White. Williamson keeps the dribble alive now to Goldwire, who's not an outside shooter. Barrett misses the 3. Brankovic the tip. And out of bounds to Carolina.
Kobe White is so good at splitting defenders. You go up in any ball screen situation, if you are not tight, he's going to be able to split and go right through. And he goes right at Zion Williamson into his body so that Williamson couldn't get up to block that shot. What a tremendous play by Kobe White.
Goldwire out, Williamson out. Reddish and White back into the game for the Blue Devils. Don't forget to check out our alternate angle of tonight's game. New York Life above the rim camera, streaming live on the ESPN app.
Johnson goes through the little elevator screen on the lane, but couldn't get the shot to go down.
Boy, did Reddish need a bucket. His first of the night. Making his 2nd field goal tonight. That extends the lead to 6 for the Blue Devils.
Cam Reddish coming off the bench, just turning the corner, going right into the body of Luke May. Little life for Reddish.
Let's take a look at a performance above, brought to you by Jersey Mike's.
And it's above the rim. The bottom of the backboard, 9 foot 4 inches. And Zion Williamson's head is above that.
Williamson with 16 to lead Duke. Cam Johnson with 16 to lead Carolina, but 14 of Johnson's 16 came very early in this game.
Carolina running a little flex action. Duke switching the screens. There's another switch on the down screen of the flex.
See if May tries to take Jones inside. Williams cross court to Little.
Good pass.
May tips it to himself to keep it alive and then finishes.
Ball moved from side to side. Then Luke May so hard to keep off the offensive glass.
A steal by May. And tipped away by Jones to prevent an easy bucket.
That was just a little horn set and a little fade screen for Cam Reddish, and May read it very effectively. Oh, this is the offensive rebound first. Able to get that up and get it to go, and then the second play able to steal it and take it the other way. So 2 really good plays on both ends of the floor.
And Zion Williamson back into the game, Jay, maybe for the first time tonight as the quote-unquote, the five-man. No Vrankovich, no Delorier, and May is, in effect, the five-man right now for Carolina. So both teams a little bit small. If you can call any lineup with Zion Williamson, it's small.
Not quite as tall,
yes. Maybe. And Williamson is on May. Kenny Williams off the screen.
Trey Jones right there to affect that shot.
Knocked away from Barrett, and back come the Tar Heels with numbers.
That was the kind of play we saw. What a pass. Wasn't that a play that reminded you of the first game at Cameron Indoor Stadium, where Duke would have the ball and then Carolina all of a sudden would wind up with it and turn it into points? What a pass by Kobe White.
First fast break points for Carolina since midway through the first half, and Kobe White's at it again, and Little another finish.
Mike Krzyzewski wants a timeout. It's all tied at 52 because Carolina turned up the heat defensively, turning defense into offense. And this largely Carolina crowd is letting everybody hear about it. Kobe White, speed personified. And boy, don't you love the hair.
Lived up to the hype so far, and that's saying something because there was a lot of hype coming into this one. Third meeting of the season between Duke and Carolina. First time really that Zion Williamson gets a chance to play against Carolina this year. And ACC tournament history, both Duke and Carolina have won 101 games in now the 66 years of the ACC tournament. Duke's won 20 titles, Carolina 18. Williamson with a nice look into the corner. Jones misses the three, and it's Goldwire called for the foul.
A design play to get the ball inside to Zion Williamson, but Kobe White did a good job of giving help and then recovering to the corner to Trey Jones. Carolina 3 of 19 from three-point range, and their three made field goals came very early. 2 by Cam Johnson, that one by Brandon Robinson, and that has been it.
And Duke not much better, 4 for 15. May with a loose ball, blocked by Williamson, and he's got it.
Boy, how about that second jump? Well, I think they got to go inside to Williamson. He's being guarded by Nasir Little.
Barrett comes out to get it. Shot clock at 10.
There he is, wide open. Get it to him.
Spins back to his strong side and makes it look easy.
That is a load for Nasir Little to handle. Not that Little's not a great athlete himself, but that's an awful lot to handle one-on-one in the post.
Crowd wanted to travel there. The Duke fans did a little hop step by Little. Tip follow there by May to tie it up again. Boy, is he opportunistic on the glass.
Well, nobody boxed him out. And right now, Luke May on goal wire. So he can give a little help.
Barrett's been dealing with Kenny Williams all night long. Barrett with a dozen.
Got to go into Zion again, don't you?
Nice swing to Jones. Barrett for 3. R.J. Barrett now with 15.
15. He's got 5 assists, 5 rebounds. When he gets his feet set, he can shoot it. When he's on the move, not so much. But R.J. Barrett is just about a complete basketball player.
Defending Little here, who missed with a left hand, and Williamson's got it for the Blue Devils.
Too much one-on-one for North Carolina. A great passing team. Don't make any passes on that possession.
Got to be some tired guys in this game, you would think, with the pace, playing their second game in as many nights.
And there's a long way to go, too.
May down with his 10th rebound. Kobe White, good luck keeping up with him. I know one guy who's not tired. That's Kobe White.
Doesn't seem to be tired of laying the ball in and getting to the rim.
He's into double figures now with 11. Pass over the head of Williamson, out of bounds.
Zion Williamson, when he gets the ball into the post, Terrific drop step to get around Nasir Little. Score with that left hand off the glass. And R.J. Barrett with his feet set. The lefty can knock it in, shoots a good percentage. And Kobe White, coast to coast.
For you here on ESPN. The winner of that one will take on, in all likelihood, Washington. In the final, Washington is up 11 on Colorado with just over 3 minutes to go in the first semi out in Vegas. Boy, Goldwire just took it right away, and then we got a foul call on Johnson.
They're trying to get Cam Johnson on the elbow where he could catch it face up, and then you get Kobe White cutting off of him. He could just throw it over the top or then take Goldwire off the dribble if he wanted to, shoot over, and Goldwire just took it away from him. Now, I think they got to go inside Zion Williamson. Like, thus far in the game, North Carolina has not blocked a shot. And I say go inside, let Zion touch it on every possession.
Brooks back into the game on Williamson right now.
He's going to be open from some angle if you just keep moving the ball.
Jones into Zion for the reverse slam.
Oh, well, look at this.
Wow, and just as impressive, Johnson lays it into the other end.
That was absolutely spectacular on both ends of the floor. Now, the referee stopped action so they could wipe up Zion Williamson's perspiration, but look at this play. Going to the other end, dunking it in. His momentum takes him to the deck. And then seemingly as soon as that went through the net, Carolina was laying it in on the other end. He got hit there too and still finished the play.
And no matter how many times you sit courtside at a Carolina game, you are still stunned by the speed they can get down the court.
It's really incredible. After a made field goal, before you could say Williamson, they laid the ball in on the other end.
Reddish spinning, step back jumper, tough shot for Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish has been a much more confident player in this second half than he was in the first. Had a couple charges, some turnovers.
Steal by Williamson. Oh!
That steal was not just athleticism. He's got anticipation and vision. It's like the old Gretzky thing that it's not where the puck is, it's where it's going to be.
Came over for the block that left Brandon Robinson alone on the weak side, and he puts it back in.
Yeah, sometimes going for a block shot, all it does is open up the offensive glass.
To your point, Zion Williamson leading the ACC in steals per game on the season.
You have to go back to Williamson. He's touching on the elbow there, almost threw it away, but
Reddish overhandles it and turns it over.
Reddish trying to do too much.
Cam Johnson tipped out by Williamson. It would have back into the hands of the Tar Heels. Kenny Williams wide open. What a game. Barrett misses the three, and Carolina looks for the lead.
Not the shot that Duke wanted.
The switch has Williamson on White right now. Johnson turnaround over Goldwire. First time he's done that to take advantage of the height he's got on Jordan Goldwire.
6'8" long arm just went right over the top with that turnaround jumper. And Roy Williams imploring his team to get a stop. Can Duke get it inside to Williamson?
He's kind of hanging out in the corner right now with Brooks on him. Shot clock running down. It's at 3. Runner by Jones. No. Not a good possession for Duke.
Not at all. And you're right. Williamson went out to the corner when he probably should have stayed in the post.
Kobe White. And a foul on Cam Johnson.
Well, Zion Williamson, as you mentioned, leads the ACC in steals because his anticipation is just so good, and no words can describe his finishing ability. When you're known by one name, you're pretty good, Dan.
Let's take a look at our versatile performance brought to you by Dove.
Well, Zion Williamson has been outstanding throughout this game, as has Kobe White. There's so many big plays made in this game between Duke and North Carolina. We say it always delivers. It has delivered again.
Last 100+ meetings, that includes tonight, 50 wins apiece and a 7-point difference between these two iconic programs. Here's Allison Williams.
It's been impressive to see how Carolina has responded since Coach Roy Williams challenged them to do exactly what he told me would be the key in the second half. Compete. He got on his guys for how they're playing on the offensive end. So you're just settling for whatever shot they give you. You have got to move. You've got to sprint and cut hard to make sure every time you are getting the best shot possible, and that includes everyone. You've all got to move. He has been imploring his guys to show that competitiveness on both ends of the court, and they have.
Well, they've shown it on the defensive end. That's really where this game turned, Allison, is North Carolina was able to get a couple stops, couple scores, and their defense is what made the difference. That 2 fouls in a row now on Garrison Brooks.
Yeah, and 4 on Brooks in all.
Boy, those are 2 really big plays.
Still no bonus, but a Brooks with 4, and Roy Williams is going to make a sub to bring Little back in.
Just trying to keep Zion Williamson off of the glass. And Garrison Brooks with that right arm just trying to ward off Williamson. Boy, North Carolina has done such a good job on its offensive glass. 18 second chance points off 13 offensive rebounds for North Carolina.
So Luke May on Zion Williamson right now. Carolina by 2, just over 7 minutes to go. Williamson drives and lays it in to tie it.
Boy, just shot right past Luke May. Look how quickly North Carolina gets the ball down court.
Johnson a little bit strong, and the rebound down to Trey Jones.
Now Nasir Little on Zion Williamson. He should just take him in the post and post him up.
Barrett, a great pass, but Delorier misses underneath.
But point blank.
Little.
Another offensive rebound for Carolina.
It's uncanny how Luke May gets him. This time Delorier brings it down for Duke.
Well, can't have a more wide open 3-point shot. That's now 4 of 23, I believe, from 3-point range for North Carolina, a team that has been a very good 3-point shooting team. One-on-one in the post.
Carolina crowd wanted to travel. Duke gets a bucket and the lead.
Roy Williams saying double dribble. The referee saying no, he bobbled it, which is always what the referee says when they don't call it.
And Johnson drive to Laurier. He's going to try. Misses the reverse.
Laurier just long enough and athletic enough to bother that shot.
Barrett, no. He hit the deck. It's 5-on-4. Carolina going the other way. Offensive foul on Kobe White.
Gavin Delorier making the stand right in front of the restricted area.
Had it gone the other way, Delorier would have been out of the game and the bucket would have counted. Foul on White. Duke with the ball and a 2-point lead.
And what a back and forth game this has been.
Tied at the half. Duke turnover. A pass at the feet of Jones goes out of bounds. At stake is a berth in the ACC championship game tomorrow night. And of course up for discussion and in play a possible 1 seed for one or both of these teams. Who knows how it'll sort itself out.
Cam Johnson posting up goal wire. Remember, he shot over him from that same spot several possessions ago.
White does not look in his direction, though.
Not a good possession for North Carolina.
All dribbling by White. Little. A very deep three.
That was a settle just to get a shot before the shot clock went off.
And Mike Krzyzewski will use a timeout. 4:39 left. The Blue Devils now up by 2 in this back and forth affair. The first time since 2012. Just a great win for Leonard Hamilton's team. They played hard, they played tough, they played smart.
Yeah, they played great defense on Kyle Guy. Had 4 different guys on him throughout the course of the game. But how about Virginia? What is that, 37-4 in the last 2 years in ACC games? It's remarkable. Nasir Little guarding Zion Williamson. They're at both at the right elbow right now, while Duke's in a little box set on side out of bounds. But you'd think after the timeout they're going to try to go into Williamson.
Little got picked off on a screen, got knocked down, but they didn't get it to Williamson. Barrett the drive. And he is called for the charge.
Might have been in the restricted area. Just running a little ball screen to try to get R.J. Barrett to his left hand. And Kobe White was outside of it. Luke May was the one that was in it. But Kobe White was the guy that drew the charge. Good call.
First on Barrett. It'll stay at this end with Carolina with 20 on the shot clock.
Duke's only got 3 team fouls. One reason is that North Carolina has not been attacking the basket. There's been a lot of jump shots, but the only attack of the rim they've had has been in transition.
Williamson on May.
See if Kobe White calls for a ball screen. Well, they're going to go with a box set.
White. That's a challenge 3. And Little over the back called for the foul.
And that'll be free throws for Duke. Again, Kobe White has Cam Johnson posting up Goldwire, and he doesn't throw the ball inside. And it's not a question of selfishness. I'm not suggesting that, but it's just decision making.
Cam Reddish, who had a very quiet first half, in fact didn't even start the second half for Duke tonight, but has had some very good moments. Misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Boy, that's one of their better free throw shooters too. It's 76%. Little driving and draws the foul. Timeout on the floor. Little will be at the line with a chance to tie it when we come back.
Zion Williamson missed his first shot in this game. Started the game 2 of 6, but since then he has been 9 for 9. A number of those shots high percentage, including this one off the steal. 26 points, 10 rebounds, a block, and a steal in 31 minutes of play for Zion Williamson. In a word, unstoppable.
So 29 and 14 last night, 26 and 10 tonight. Carolina being led by Cam Johnson with 20. Nasir Little misses the first of 2.
Can we say that Zion Williamson showing no ill effects from his injury?
I think that's a limb you are safely out on. Little makes the second. Brooks back in. It's a 1-point game. Sports Center tonight after Oregon, Arizona State with John Buccigross and Zubin Mehenti. A full recap of this game. A look at the Western Conference contenders in the NBA, and Andy North previews moving day at the Players Championship. You can see it here on ESPN and also on the ESPN app. Well, they made him go to the other shoulder that time. Didn't let him get to his strong side. Now a run out for Carolina. Johnson fouled and a finish.
Boy, on one end, Duke runs a play between Barrett and Williamson to isolate Williamson in the post, but well defended by Garrison Brooks. Then the run out, and instead of dropping it off to Kenny Williams, Cam Johnson keeps it, and it looked like he was fouled by Reddish from behind. Got it to go. Barrett tried to take the charge, but he just slipped it. That looked like it was on Reddish, but they gave it to Barrett. They could have take your pick on that one.
Take your pick. Carolina by 2, 3:27 to go, and many of them standing now here in Charlotte.
A good rotation by Kobe White, so the ball couldn't go directly into Williamson.
Pull up by Jones.
That's a tough shot.
White tips it to May inside 3 minutes to go. It's the 4 freshmen for Duke, plus again Jordan Goldwire, who's played a ton in this game. He's guarding Cam Johnson again. May driving on Williamson, and he's got a chance for 3.
North Carolina lifting up, went with a 2-guard front. Everybody lifted up, and as soon as May came up top, immediately drove Zion Williamson to the bucket. Went right under that right shoulder and was able to get the contact, kept his head up, his eyes on the rim to finish the play. What a game Luke May is having.
Another missed free throw, though, for the Tar Heels, so it's a 4-point game.
And May's got to have still 13, 14 rebounds in this one.
Williamson a touch, scores over Brooks, and he's fouled.
And that's it for Brooks, isn't it? Is that the 5th foul?
It is.
Went right into the chest of Brooks. There's nothing he could do. He's asking the official. Yeah, my arms were up. That was offense-initiated contact, but Williamson in the low post commands a double team. That's asking a lot to hedge that ball screen, get back down, and stay between Williamson and the basket. Anytime Williamson can get to that left hand, man, he is a load.
Brooks out. Little back in. And Williamson at the line. One-point game.
Let's see if Carolina does the same thing where they try to lift up Duke. The same action. Off the baseline. Everybody lifted up above the free throw line.
Little driving on Williamson. Spins. Williamson may have altered it, and it's down to the Blue Devils with a chance to take the lead.
Kenny Williams still on R.J. Barrett. Now they're going to set the ball screen so Barrett can get to that left hand.
And a fortunate bounce goes right to Goldwire, and Duke's on top. And Goldwire may be cramping up again. He's had problems with that in the second half, and he's having issues right now.
Well, they need to go right at him if they can recognize it. Good screen.
May.
Williamson got a piece of that. Williamson blocked that.
Goldwire the rebound, and he is having trouble running. Duke's only got one timeout, and Coach K's not going to use it here. They're going to play it out, even though Goldwire's really having trouble moving. Barrett for 3.
They ran that same play, but Barrett turned down the ball screen from Zion Williamson.
I don't know if Carolina realizes how much trouble Goldwire's having right now.
Well, I think Johnson does, and he needs to take him.
Final minute of play. Carolina down by 1.
Johnson needs to drive him.
White. Little for the lead. And now the timeout.
Kobe White with the drive, and Nasir Little with the finish. 2 freshmen for North Carolina just spins off, and he lost the ball, actually. It wasn't a pass. He lost it. Just spun right past a great defender, Trey Jones, and Jones hooked his arm a little bit. Wasn't called, but Nasir Little right there. First, it was Goldwire on the other end to get the layup after Cam Johnson knocked the ball away from R.J. Barrett. Then when the ball gets lost by Kobe White, a little turnaround being fair play to Nasir Little for the dunk.
Still to come tonight, the second semifinal from the New York Life Pac-12 Championship out in Las Vegas. Dana Altman and his Ducks will take on Arizona State for the right to advance onto the championship game tomorrow night. All right, Duke ball down by 1. Goldwire getting more attention for the cramping. He's played 28 minutes tonight, by far the most minutes that he's played in a game this season. He's a great defensive player, not much of an offensive player. You'd imagine obviously somebody's going to go in for him now. What are you looking for offensively? Do they have to get it into the post to Williamson?
Well, I think they go to that same action where they use Williamson as a screener on the elbow, try to get R.J. Barrett to that left hand, and if you try to take that away, he can just lob it up to Williamson. But you got to be ready to be able to kick it out. Whoever gets it kicked, whoever gets the kick has to be ready either to take a shot or to drive the closeout.
29 points on consecutive nights for Zion Williamson. Javin DeLaurier will take the place of Jordan Goldwire.
But whatever happens here, you're going to have Zion Williamson involved in it. He's being guarded by Nasir Little.
Remember, Duke is now out of timeouts.
Well, they're going with these two at the elbow. Now Williamson out top, going to go one-on-one.
Behind the back, spinning on Little, up, no good, follow, yes!
Oh! Just pure strength by Williamson.
And does Roy Williams use a timeout or let him play?
He hardly ever calls timeout in this situation.
Shot clock and game clock bang on here with Carolina down a point.
Carolina was looking to get a back door.
Cam Johnson in and out on the 3. Barrett with a rebound, and he's fouled.
Cam Johnson had an open look. But earlier, Zion Williamson going one-on-one against Nasir Little. Crosses over behind the back, then spins to try to get to that left hand. Misses it, but look how quickly he gets to the offensive rebound and puts it in. That's just a big-time play. Then as he ran back down the court, looks like he's getting a little tightness in his back. Maybe it's from carrying this Duke team.
35 minutes tonight for Zion Williamson. 31 points, including that bucket that gives Duke the lead. Timeout taken by Roy Williams. When play resumes, R.J. Barrett will be at the line for 2 free throws. It's double bonus. Barrett is 3 for 4 tonight, 67% on the season. Florida State awaits the winner tomorrow night.
Barrett has just about lived at the free throw line this year. Shot about 190 free throws on the season.
Two huge free throws for R.J. Barrett and Duke.
Well, that takes away the opportunity to foul up 3.
Missed them both. Carolina can win it. Here comes White.
Gotta go.
Almost slipped. Tipped by Little, no, and Duke will hang on and win it. A decent look for Kobe White. A pretty good tip-in opportunity for Nasir Little. but neither will go, and the Blue Devils defeat the Tar Heels for the first time this year.
Boy, what a game just from start to finish. A backyard brawl by two of the best teams in the country. And Kobe White decided not to try to get to the basket. And you could argue settled for a jump shot to try to win this thing. Barrett misses both free throws, the rebound for Little. And then it took Kobe White, who's got tremendous speed, a little bit too long to get into this. Tried to get the screen from Luke May. That was a very tough shot and a settle. It looked like Javin DeLaurier might have knocked that away from Nasir Little when he tried to get the ball to tip it in. So DeLaurier making a big play to save the game.
Allison Williams is with Zion Williamson.
Zion, a 1-point win over North Carolina. How does that feel?
I mean, it feels great because we got the win. You know, hats off to them. They're a very great team. I mean, it was a great game to be a part of.
Knowing what this rivalry means, does it not mean a little bit more to you to beat them?
I mean, of course, it is a rivalry, but, you know, you got to take it one game at a time and on to the next.
What was going through your mind when you were staying after your own shot to get the follow and put the team up ahead?
I mean, that's just my competitive spirit. I always want to win. So when I knew it was coming off, I used my second jump and tipped it back in.
Can you just describe for me the type of energy it took to win this game, the pace early, back-to-back games? What was it like out there?
I mean, it is my second game back, and they're one of the best teams in pushing and transition. So, you know, we had to adjust to it. And shout out to Jordan Goldwire again, Trey Jones. You know, they really applied ball pressure, and I'm just glad we got the win.
Not only do you beat Carolina, but you get a chance to play for an ACC tournament championship. How does that sound?
Sounds great. I mean, it's a championship, so we got to prepare for it.
All business. Thanks, Zion.
31 for Williamson tonight, including the game-winning bucket. It'll be Duke and Florida State for an ACC championship tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern time, right here on ESPN. What a game tonight between the Blue Devils and the Tar Heels. Join us tomorrow night, won't you? For Jay Billis, Allison Williams, and our crew, I'm Dan Shulman saying thanks for watching as Duke beats Carolina by a point to advance to the final against the Seminoles. Let's send it back to the studio now to get the thoughts of Kevin Connors and Sean Farnham.